Hello, hi. Welcome to 60 minutes of gentle yoga. Hopefully some yoga that will help you feel a little bit less stressed, less anxious after our session. My name is Ray. I've been practicing yoga for about 12 years now, teaching for the last 6 or so. And I think in these times of uncertainty and fear and anxiousness, and just generally feeling isolated as we may be as individuals or with our families into these very unusual circumstances, I think we need help and tools, easy tools, gentle tools, tools that are easily accessed to help us deal with how we feel or how we would like to feel and in these particular moments. So yoga. I think just a little simple introduction to yoga, especially for those that haven't practiced before, or maybe just beginning, or maybe just wanting to remind ourselves just what yoga is about. So the word yoga means union. Union means bringing together the breath, the heart, and the mind, so that the body has the ability to just focus without distraction. And it's the breath that we will first start and begin with in respect to this session today. So one of the things I love to do is to do what I call nasal breathing. So in yoga, pranayama, prana being life force and yama being action. So to create the action to bring life force into the body. So our pranayama is all about the breath, and the breath itself, without that, there is no life, there is nothing. So with this very simple breathing exercise to allow us to start to feel relaxed as we start to focus on relaxing the parasympathetic nervous system, the system that's responsible for the fear or flight in our everyday world. And this breath will allow us to calm that breath, to calm that sense of nervousness or anxiousness or uncertainty that we may feel. Okay, so left hand or right hand, depending on which hand that you are most dominant with. We're going to use the middle finger, and that middle finger is going to sit within our forehead. And then the thumb is going to hover over the right nostril, and the baby finger is going to hover over the left nostril. And all we're going to do is we're going to close one nostril and inhale through the left. And as we exhale, we're going to close the next left nostril to exhale through the right. And then we're going to inhale through the right, close to the right, and then exhale through the left, and then inhale through the left, and then close the left nostril and exhale through the right nostril. So when you're sitting comfortably, and as you can see that I'm sitting on a bolster, a lovely blue cushion that allows my hips to sit slightly higher up so that my knees are lower down, so that the knees should always be in line with the hips, if not a little bit lower. So if you have tight hips, as I do in the very beginning of my practice, I tend to sit on maybe a brick or a cushion, so maybe you can do that. Let's begin. So middle finger, take a deep inhale through both nostrils, lowering the elbow to the side of the body. Take a deep breath. And a big exhale out of the mouth. Deep inhale through the nose. And a big exhale out of the mouth. Take a slow inhale through both nostrils. Close the right nostril with the right thumb. Exhale through the left nostril. Inhale through the left nostril. And when the lungs are completely full, then take the baby finger, close the left nostril, and exhale through the right nostril. Inhale through the right nostril for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the right nostril, exhale through the left nostril for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through the left nostril for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. And then close the left nostril and exhale through the right nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's repeat. Inhale through the right nostril for 4, 3, 2, 1. Close. Exhale through the left nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through this nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close. Exhale through the right nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4. This time let's inhale for a count of 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close. Exhale for the left nostril for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for the left nostril for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close and exhale for the right nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for the right nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And exhale for the left nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for the left for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale for the right for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale for the last time for this nostril for count of 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale for the left for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for the left nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4. Close and then exhale for the right nostril for 1, 2, 3, 4. Release your hands on top of your knees, and just for the moment, drop your head. Take a deep inhale through both nostrils and a big sigh of the mouth. Keep the eyes closed. Inhale through the nostrils one more time. Deep inhale and a deep exhale through the nose. Softening shoulders, softening your elbows. And bring your hands into prayer. And as we do so, your prayer is merely just a show of gratitude to yourself and appreciation. And with this practice, with yoga as we do, we set ourselves a dedication and intention to someone else so that we're able to share what we create here today on your yoga mat. So just for a few moments, set your intention. It could be to a loved one, it could be to just be mindful, and it could be sending positive energy to those that we love. And when you're ready, raise your head. Bring your hands back into prayer. On your inhale, raise your prayer all the way into the sky. And then on your exhale, lower the prayer, interlace the hands, drop your chin, push your palms away as you just allow the back to roll back behind you. Inhale, take the prayer back up. Exhale, hands back into prayer. The prayer comes down through the center of the body. Drop the chin to the chest, interlace the hands, push the hands away, take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, slide the arms up into the air so the palm of the hands are facing the ceiling. And just hold. And as we hold and we just breathe and we just focus on that inhalation, the breath that we've cultivated through our warm-up. On your next exhale, take the left hand to the right knee. Take the right hand into the lower back. And this right hand into the lower back allows the body to sit upright. So when we exhale, we're able to twist the body to the right side and hold for 3 breaths. So every time we inhale, we're rising up through the crown of the head. But as we exhale, we're slightly opening this right shoulder. And the head just sits nice and horizontal, not looking up or not looking down. But your gaze is merely looking towards that right shoulder as the right shoulder opens towards the body. Inhale, take both arms up straight, high, up into the air. And as you reach up and as you exhale, take the left hand behind you, right hand comes onto the knee. And as we inhale, we rise up, so the spine is long and tall, and we're feeling like we're pulled up through the crown of the head. But as we exhale, we soften in the belly, so that we're able to find space to turn to the left-hand side. And stay here for 3 breaths, your count of 4, your exhalation of 4. Try that for 3 rounds and see how you feel. Remember, the heart is moving forward and up. And as the exhale, the breath moves down towards the body, towards the floor. On your next inhale, bring both arms up forward. And on this exhale, bring the hands to the knees. Now, if your knees are crossed, and just take the knees in front of you, allow the feet to come up. Bring the knees together. And as we bring the knees together, I want you to bring the feet together. And I want you then to take your arms around the knees and grab hold of the elbows, if you can, all the wrists. And as you bring these legs together, I want you to inhale, but as you exhale, I want you to soften in your back, in your upper back, just allowing the head, the forehead, to come towards the knees. So every time you breathe, you feel your belly pressing against your thighs. And every time you exhale, you feel the breath leave through the bottom of your belly, through your abdomen, through your pelvic floor. Lovely. Now, if you're on a bolster or cushion, just move that away and still retain in the same position. I want you to just take your left hand stays on, wrapping around your two legs, the crease of the elbow onto the knee, and then take your right hand behind you. So as you inhale and you raise up, as you exhale, you open that right shoulder to turn to the right side. Inhale through the belly, but exhale, leaving the breath from the shoulders. Take the right arm up in the air, keep it straight by the head, and then take the right elbow onto the right knee. Take your left hand into the lower back. Now let me just turn around. So as you squeeze his legs together, as you inhale, you raise up, and as you exhale, you turn the body. So it's the body facing towards the left-hand side. And then on your next inhale, bring the legs back together, release both arms, take your arms up in the air, and then allow the legs just to come out in front of you. And as your legs come out in front of you, just allow the feet to just fall open, just releasing the hip flexors, allowing the quads to soften, allowing just to feel the blood, and maybe just raise them up a little bit. So you kind of just bang them on the floor, just feeling that lovely sensation, softening the calves, just softening the thighs and the hip flexors and the groin area. Your hands. For a moment, let's bend both knees. As we bend both knees, what we're trying to do is find ourselves in a position where the hands come just, the tips of the fingers are just on the outside of our glutes, and the feet are parallel. And as we inhale, we're going to raise the bottom off the floor, pushing through the shoulders, and then we're going to push the knees forward. And as you inhale, you're going to push your hips forward. And in this reverse tabletop, we're just going to allow the head to sit back in a very neutral position so that there's no stress or strain. But every time you inhale, push through the shoulders, but as you exhale, push through the hips, trying to raise the hips a little bit further. Stay here for 2 breaths. Now, bring the chin back to the chest. Allow the bottom to come to the floor. Allow the elbows to bend as much as they need to. Once more, just take your hands, wrap them around your knees as you then bring the soles of the feet as close to your bottom as you can. As you inhale and as you exhale, drop your head towards your knees. And then raise up. As we raise up, bring the bottom back so you can extend both legs. And as you can extend both legs, we just find ourselves in an upright position. The toes are flexed towards the face. And as we inhale, we rise up. But as we exhale, I want you to keep looking at the space in your hands, because you're going to fall forward, but you're reaching forward as opposed to trying to reach down. And as you reach forward with this giant ball in front of you, in between your hands, and when your hands can go no further, when you feel like you can reach forward no further, then allow your hands, just for the first time, just to grab hold of the big toes with the first 2 fingers wrapping around the inside of the big toes. And as you inhale with the heels of the feet touching, you rise up. And as you exhale, just be gentle here, especially if you have any sort of challenges in your back. And allow the elbows to come towards the shin. And when they're here, then just gently allow the head to drop to your knees as your gaze looks to your quads. Every time you inhale, you'll feel your lungs and your back expand. But as you exhale, you'll feel the belly contract as you find maybe a little bit more space. Inhale, raise up to look forward, but as you exhale, pull the shoulders back this time, and then allow the elbows to come to the shins as the head drops between the knees. Release your hands. Allow the hands to walk up the legs. Maybe just give the thighs a little bit of a squeeze. In fact, something I quite like to do, which is just to realign the ligaments, especially if we have tight hip flexors. Grab hold of the hamstring underneath. Take your hand on top of this thigh and actually turn that whole muscle at the top and bottom in so that you feel the alignment come in the hip flexor. So I'll raise my right leg to do the same. This is a lovely way just to relieve a little bit of tension sometimes if we find ourselves in the wrong position as you turn those muscles into the inside. And just for a moment, just see how that feels. Lovely. All right, so now let's move on to our all fours. As we move on to our all fours, I want you initially just to walk onto your feet. And as you walk onto your feet, just for a moment, I want you to raise up all the way onto the balls of the toes. So what I'm doing, I'm sitting my heels underneath my glutes, my bottom, and I'm squeezing my thighs in together with my arms and allowing my head to drop. Lovely. And then from here, I'm going to come onto my knees, and then I'm going to take my legs back. As I take my legs back, I come into a tabletop position. Now, tabletops it's simple, but there are a few things to remember. Allow your index finger to point up, but just proud of the 12 o'clock and between the 12 and 1 and the 11 and 12, and the thumbs are pointing to the center dial so that your biceps are basically pointing forward. Your knees are in line with your hips and your hips are in line with the wrists. And just for a moment, all I want you to do is just start to camber the body forward and rotate on the hips as you take the bottom back towards the heels, not all the way to begin with, and just allow your body to come forward over the wrists. And in these big circles that we start to make, just start to rotate the whole body. And every time you come closer to the heels, see if you can come down a little bit further as you rotate into the hip and ball socket. I've recently had a full hip replacement on my left-hand side. And this motion, I can assure you, creates this wonderful sense of relief and release around the muscles and the ligaments that connect between my femur and my hip girdle and my lower back. And when you've gone to the right way, you maybe got your bottom all the way to the heels, just come back to the left. So you come up into the left, you're rotating, you're creating these big wide circles. And the breath. If you think about the breath, is that when you're making an effort, which is coming forward, you're inhaling, but as you then start to let go, you exhale. So yoga is about an inhalation wherever you make an effort, and an exhalation whenever you start to let go or release. Inhale, I come forward, and exhale, I release as my bottom comes to my heels. Now, stay with your bottom onto your heels. Your knees are apart, and that's absolutely fine for this first gentle child's pose. And just allow the fingers to walk the hands forward as the forehead comes towards the floor. Now, it doesn't matter if your head doesn't come towards the floor. And in fact, if it feels it is too far, then simply cross your arms so the head comes to rest on the forearms. So with this child's pose position, every time you inhale, you feel the lungs expanding as they mostly sit at the back of the body, and the ribs, floating ribs especially, move outwards. But as you exhale, you allow the breath to leave from the tummy. So yoga is about not just a union, but it's about releasing. So the breath is so key in all these positions, especially with the exhalation that we are able to let go. Bring the elbows to the floor. As you do so, you rise up into your tabletop position. Now again, with the symmetry that we have created, I want you to just curl the toes over. As we curl the toes over, I want you to walk your hands back and you come to your thighs. So as you come to your thighs, you'll notice that you have this wonderful stretch. Now for some of us, especially if we're in high heels, whenever you are wearing high heels, our feet often do not stretch. So this lovely toe stretch allows us to stretch the planters, the fascia, these wonderful layers of matter that cross the bottom of our feet, that give us this incredible strength that often we forget about. So I like to start my practice with really bending these toes, maybe even taking the baby toe under so we can feel. Now this is going to feel uncomfortable for a lot of us. So bring your hands into prayer as we're here. Inhale, raise the prayer up in the sky. And as you exhale, lower the prayer down. Take the hands, interlace the hands once more. Inhale, sweep the arms and the palms to the ceiling. Take your gaze to where your hands are. And then exhale, take your hands into prayer. Look at the prayer. Follow the prayer with your eyes as you come with the prayer all the way through to the center of the body. And then come off the toes with great relief. Allow the tops of the feet to come to the floor. And in fact, what I want you to do now is just allow yourself to bang these feet. Bring the sensation, tops of the feet. If you can't, then simply just rest them back down. Now from here, I want you to open up your knees as wide as you possibly can go. The big toes are touching. As we open the knees, mat distance, and I turn, I then take my arms out in front of me to then allow my whole body to come to the floor, my forehead, my forearms and my elbows, as I push the weight in to my groin area so my bottom touches the heels. Stay here for 3 breaths. On your last breath, take the elbows to the floor, take your hands underneath the body, bring the knees back into the tabletop. So find the symmetry in your tabletop, and that symmetry is where the hands are underneath and spread. All the fingers are spread wide. Often, sometimes we have problems in the wrist because we're not in the correct position, but make sure the shoulders are on top of the elbows, or on top of the wrists, and the hands are spread wide. Your knees are in the same position. Take a deep inhale. Your gaze is to the floor. And as you exhale, start to bring the shoulders back. Start to lower the back so the belly drops to the floor and the bottom sticks out as you bring the shoulder blades to meet each other, as you raise the head to look up to where your wall meets your ceiling. And then as you exhale now, I want you to tuck the tailbone under first. Really tuck it under. And as you push your back up into the ceiling, as if you're supporting the ceiling, push with the heels of the hands. Maybe the hands come back so they're directly underneath the shoulders. Inhale, allow the body to drop into the shoulders, bend the elbows, and inhale, come back into this cow position. So the belly is dropped. You're arching the bottom out, tops of the feet are down. And then as you exhale, you'll push through the heels of the hand. You tuck the tailbone under as you come into this angry cat. Inhale, come back into a cow, soften. Imagine undulating the body up as you inhale. But as you exhale, you're tucking the tailbone under. You're pushing through the arch of the back to the ceiling. Inhale, come into a cow. 1 breath. 1 breath. Exhale, coming into the cat. Inhalation, cow. Exhalation, cat. Inhalation, cow. Exhalation, cat. Inhalation, coming to a neutral position. Take your hand, take the left hand, so that the back of the hand is on the floor. The fingers are pointed to the knee. The palm is facing up. Yes, you're pressing into that wrist, but you're supporting a lot of the weight in the right. So you're just feeling that open flex on the outside of the wrist. I come back a little bit, but you stay wherever it feels comfortable. Remember, yoga is about what is right for you and your body. So if there's anything we do today that doesn't feel right, simply don't do it. Pain is not what yoga is about. It's intention, it's in breath, and it's what feels right in your heart. Next inhale, allow the hand to come back round. Take the right hand so that the back of the hand is resting on the floor, just so that you can see my palm. So the back of the hand rests on the floor. My fingers are spread, pointing back towards my right knee, as I just feel a little camber stretching that wrist gently in my right wrist. Lovely. When you're ready, come back to your all fours. Tuck the toes under as we did before. Now this time, I want you to bring the body back so that the bottom sits on the heels. As the bottom are on the heels, I want you now to take your knuckles, the inside of your palm, and place that on the heel of your feet. So your feet should be hip distance. And as you inhale, I want you to come back, create this straight line, drop the elbows. And as you exhale, I want you to push the hips up and keep pushing up as you push your heels away to come into the supported camel. But all I want you to do as you exhale now is come back down, bring the bottom towards the heels. Take the tops of the feet down to the floor. Allow the body to come all the way through to a child's pose. Taking the arms out in front of you. As you inhale, look forward, grabbing the fingers. But as you exhale, lowering the head, lowering the fingers, lowering the elbows, lowering the arms, and the head comes back down to the floor. Take a deep inhale, rise up into your tabletop position once more. Curl the toes over. Allow the bottom to come back to the heels. Take your hands, the fingertips this time, to the heels, top of the heels. And as you inhale, just allow the body to come back. But as you inhale, push through the knuckles, through the palms of the hands to raise the body up as you come into supported camel. Now I want you to come onto the tips of the fingers. As you do, you keep pushing the hips forward. So this is about the hips and your lower back. And now maybe come onto the knuckles of the hands. And as you keep squeezing the shoulders together, with this inhale, look up to the ceiling. And with an exhale, just stay here. Allow the breath to leave the belly. Inhale the breath into the shoulders, into the same position, the head's in the most neutral position you can find. And as you exhale, the breath leaves the body. For the last time, inhale the breath into the shoulders. Allow the breath to leave the tummy. Tip the chin back towards the chest. Lower the bottom carefully back down towards the heels. Take the hands forward into your tabletop position. Allow the tops of the feet to come down and allow maybe just to feel a gentle tap on the tops of those feet. Inhale, coming to a cow. So we're dropping the belly, raising the shoulders, looking up. And as we exhale, tucking the tailbone under, tucking the chin under this time. So we're looking between the knees to the feet. And then allow the toes to come together, allow the knees to come together as you then allow the body to come to the floor. This time, taking your both arms behind you in our child's pose, so the back of the hands from the floor. As you inhale, rise up, and as you exhale, allowing the head to come to the floor. Now remember, if the head doesn't come to the floor, the forehead, simply open the knees and then allow the head to touch your mat. Stay here for 3 breaths. Take your left arm forward. Take your right arm forward. Inhale, rise up into your tabletop position. Now, I want you just to curl your toes over. This time, take your knees as wide as you possibly can. And as you take your knees as wide as you possibly can, your big toes are going to touch. And as your big toes are touched, the balls of your feet are touching. And as you come back, you're going to allow these knees to come off the floor. And your feet, the soles of the feet are kind of trying to point towards each other. The heels are touching. You're on your toes. But the weight now is in your elbows as your elbows are pushing the knees open. And then release, allow the knees to come back together. As you allow the knees to come back together, allow your hands to stay on the floor. Allow your elbows to squeeze those knees as we open up the lower back. As we keep creeping those fingers forward so that the head goes between the knees as the bottom moves closer to the floor. And now from here, allow the knees to come forward, but don't let them touch the floor. Push your hands up so that you're now onto your feet, and walk your hands forward to come into our first downward dog. Step your feet apart so that they are hip distance apart now. Now in these downward dogs, it's an easy position to imagine, but to perfect it takes a long time. So I want you to first of all just bend your left elbow, allow the body to come slightly down, and then straighten the right elbow, push the right heel back so that the right hand and the right heel is pressing firmly on the floor, and then bend the left knee. And as you bend the left knee as much as you can, straighten that left elbow, start to push the body back as you look into and under the right armpit. So your chin is looking under the right armpit. Maybe even allow the body to lean more to the left as you feel the opening in the right side of your intercostal muscles and ribcage. Inhale, rise up onto the balls of the feet as high as you can, and as you exhale, this time press the left heel down, press the right hand into the floor, bend the right elbow, look underneath the left armpit as you push your body back. Your breath should be natural here, as in it should feel that every time you inhale, send energy to where you need it. As you exhale, soften. And now inhale onto the balls of the feet, looking forward between the hands. But as you exhale, bend the knees, just a fraction. Now push your heart back towards the quads. Now take your heels back towards the floor. Take here 3 breaths. Remember the breath. It's filling everywhere that you need the energy to be, through the hips, the shoulders, the back, the calves, the Achilles, the hamstrings, wherever we feel tightness. But as you exhale, you allow those areas to soften. Inhale, come forward into a plank position. Now the plank means that your shoulders should be on top of the elbows, on top of the wrists. Exhale, drop the knees to the floor, drop the elbows to the floor, and then allow everything to slide forward as you allow your belly to come to the floor. The hands are by your shoulders. In fact, bring the fingers so that they are underneath the shoulders. Zip up your legs, zip up your feet. And as you zip everything up together, squeeze the knees, squeeze the ankles. And so as you then inhale, take the forehead to the floor, and then inhale, raise the forehead up, raise the shoulders up. And then when you feel like you can go anymore, then take the hands off the floor. Tuck the chin to the chest. Just keep your eyes just in front of the mat or on the carpet in front of you. So every time you inhale, send the energy. Every time you exhale, maybe you find space, maybe we raise it a little bit higher. Last breath. And then allow your hands to come to the floor. Allow your forehead to come to the floor. Allow your arms to stretch down by your side. Turn your head to the right-hand side. And with great relief, maybe just allow the hips to rock to one side and the other as you loosen the lower vertebrae in the lower back if it feels a little bit squashed or a little bit unhappy. Find a stillness. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Bring your head back to center. Push through the hands. As you do, push all the way back into your child's pose. Knees together. One breath. Inhale, rise back up. As you rise back up, allow the hands and back to find the symmetry with knees and feet. And then as you inhale, come into a cow. So the shoulders should be pulling away up from the neck. But as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under. Push the ceiling away with the back. Allow the heels of the hands to push the shoulders up as you drop your head and your gaze is between your knees, looking towards your toes. Inhale, come into a neutral position. Exhale, curl over the toes, push the body up to the floor. Lovely. This downward dog should feel a lot easier now. Look between your hands. I want you to raise the right leg up into the air. As you raise this right leg up into the air, try and keep this leg as straight as you possibly can, flexing the toes to the face and the heel to the wall. And then on your next exhale, bring the knee to the chest, keep the leg floated, and then step that right leg through And as you step that right leg through, take both hands to the floor, drop the left knee. Allow the top of the foot of that left leg to come to the floor. Allow your right hand to come to the inside or on top of that right knee. And as we raise the body up, just maybe heel toe that right foot slightly more to the right hand side. Hand to the floor. Inhale, look forward. But as you exhale, allow this knee to come forward as you start to open and stretch into the right hip flexor. So your pressure is in that right groin and the left hip flexor is stretching forward and your knee is moving towards and above the right toes, but no further. On your next inhale, allow the knee, if your knee is okay, and the right leg to just come back, to sit your foot onto that left heel, flexing the right toes. Inhale, raise the right arm, left arm up in the air rather. Exhale, bring the hand towards the right foot. Inhale, raise up, and as you exhale, square the shoulders as you then gently just allow the head to lower. No pressure, no real stretching, but the left arm is elongated towards the foot. Inhale, release the hand, allow your body to come back into your lunge position. Now this time, I want you to take your right hand onto the right knee, heel toe that right foot slowly a bit closer to the center line of the body. The left hand moves further away, and as you do, I want you to inhale, sink into that right hip flexor, and then push the right hip away. As you open up the right side of the body to take your gaze towards the ceiling, as the right arm is trying to push that knee away, as you can see the sole of your right foot because you're on the blade of that right foot right now. Stay here for 2 breaths. Inhale, bring that right foot back down. Bring both your hands towards the floor, either side of that foot. Curl over the toes on that back foot, and then allow both your legs to straighten as you bump up that left foot. As you bump up that left foot, you are in a triangle position. Your right foot is forward. Both your hands are over that by the right ankle, and your left foot is at an angle, maybe 35 degrees, if not pointing directly forward. But your hips are nice and square. Now, bend your right knee. Take your hand to your right hand to right knee, and just allow the body to come up. Still with that bent knee. And with the knee that is bent, take your arms behind you. As you take your arms behind you to interlace your hands, so the back of the hands are on the lower back and the elbows are kind of falling forward. As you inhale, raise your head. But as you exhale now, with that left leg straight and the right knee bent, just allow the body to come forward at an angle, so that the tummy is kind of resting on the thighs. As you inhale, I want you to straighten the right leg. I want you to, the hands that are interlaced turn into a fist. As you inhale, you're going to raise the body up, the shoulders come round, and the fists come towards the floor. Inhale, raise the head up into the sky, just pulling those shoulders down, feeling that lovely stretch around the clavicle, around the traps. As you inhale, take the fist away from the body. Yes, the shoulders are tight, I know. But as you exhale, bend that right knee once more, and the body is moving forward, moving the body forward. The head is moving forward, and the shoulders are square. And then just tuck the chin to the chest, look at the toes. Inhale, straighten the right knee, as you then keep continuing to take the fist over the head as the crown moves towards the toes. If you can't go towards the toes, then just keep the body halfway. But otherwise, just do your best, keeping your feet pushing and pulling the mat apart from each other so you feel strong in the core. On your next inhale, release the hands to the floor. Inhale, bend that right knee. Just allow the hands to walk around to the middle, so that now you're turning your feet. Both of your feet are facing the front. Your feet are now parallel with each other. And in this forward bend, it's called Prasarita Padottanasana. I like saying that, it rolls nicely off the tongue. My weight's in my fingertips, my weight's into my balls of my feet. My feet are parallel. My big toes, as in all standing postures for yoga, are anchoring in. I'm now going to then walk my hands out to grab hold of my big toes. Now, if you can't reach, as often some of us can't, then simply take a micro bend in the knees. When you have grabbed hold of those big toes with a bend in the knees, bend the knees as much as you need to. You're going to hook onto those toes with the first two fingers. The thumb isn't touching the floor, it's tucked away. And as you inhale, you look forward. And as you exhale, you plant those toes and put the weight into the balls of the feet. As the elbows come wide, then you're allowing the crown of the head to come towards the floor. Inhale, rise back up one more time, straightening the elbows, and then exhale, allowing the weight again to come into the balls of the feet. The elbows are square like a robot as they come out to the side to allow the traps and the muscles around the neck to be free. Gently just shake your head yes, and shake your head no, to know that your head is loose and there's no tension here. Stay here for 3 breaths. So remember, every time you inhale, breath occupies the shoulders, occupies the back and the lungs. As you exhale, it leaves the belly. Be mindful not to lock the knees out though in this pose if you are really open in the hamstrings. On your next inhale, take your hands, release them so that they're now underneath the face. As you inhale up onto the fingertips, but as you exhale, you take your left hand down to the floor underneath the face. Your hands are forward now so that they're underneath the shoulder because the shoulder is moving the body forward. And then as you bend your left knee, you're just a fraction, you're going to raise the right arm up, and as you straighten that left knee, the left hand is pushing the floor away for you to come into what is known as that elephant. So your gaze is towards the right hand or towards that right wall as the right hand is pushed away and sits on top of the left hand. Replace the hand. Take the right hand underneath the face. Weight into the right knee slightly bent. My left arm comes to my left shoulder, and then my right arm pushes my body up to turn my left shoulder away. Release the left hand. Lovely. Walk your body around towards the left foot as your left foot turns towards the left side. The right foot now, you're going to turn onto the ball of the right foot. You're going to drop the right knee on the floor. Lovely. And just for a moment, heel toe that left foot to the left-hand side. Your right hand comes to the floor. Left hand on top of the knee. As you inhale and as you exhale, humble warrior, top of the foot down. As you then sink into your hips, as the knee moves forward and you're stretching that right hip flexor and you're compressing the left hip socket, allowing the head to drop to bow. Stay here for 2 breaths. The inhalation for 4, your exhalation for 4. And then allow both your hands to come to the top of that left knee. And then just allow the left foot to kind of just pivot in towards the center line of the body. And then allow your left hand to then start to push that left knee away as you take the right hand back to the floor. So you're going to inhale, raise the body up as you start to look to your left side, but you're then going to sink into that right hip flexor as you press the left knee away at the same time. And turning the body to look towards that left wall as you push your left arm into that hip. Inhale, take the sole of the foot back to the floor. And then take both hands up to that left knee. And then take the hands to the floor as you then come and sit on the right heel if you can. If you can't, then maybe stay high and then simply walk that left foot further forward to have a stretch in that left hamstring, like so. But otherwise, allow the body to come, the seat to come towards the right heel. Left hand supporting, toes are flexed towards the face. As you inhale, you raise the right arm up, but as you look towards that left foot. You then take your hand and you're reaching out to grab hold of the toe or the sole of the foot. And as you inhale, you raise up one more time. And as you exhale, you start to bend the right elbow. And then you lower the body towards the floor and the head comes towards the floor. So with my head on my knee, every time I inhale, I slightly look towards my left foot, raising my chin. But as I exhale, I lower the chin again. I lower my head towards the knee. Hands back to the floor, either side, supporting the body. Push the body up. You're back into that lunge position once more. And then I'm going to curl over the toes from the back foot. And then I'm going to rise up. I'm in a long triangle base, but I'm going to bump up that back foot. And as I bump up that back foot, both my heels are to the floor as I now take both my hands onto my left knee. And as I inhale, I start to rise the body up. And with that left knee, I start to bend it. And then I'm going to take my hands to my back as I did before. I'm going to interlace my hands so that the palms are pointing upwards, the back of the hands it's against my lower back. Inhale, I'm going to raise my elbows up, raise the body up. But as I exhale, I'm going to allow my body once more to fall towards the thigh. Tucking the chin towards the chest. And now I'm going to take the hand into the fist as the body comes upright. So both my legs are straight, my right foot slightly turned out to the side. My shoulders are square. And as I relax the shoulders for a moment, drop my chin, take the hand even higher up the back. I find this helps to open the shoulders up. As I roll my shoulders up to my ears and then bring them down, then take this fist out once more. I'm squaring my body as I pull my shoulders once more down. Deep inhale into the shoulders. And as I exhale, I start to bend that left knee. I start to bring my body towards my left leg. And my fist starts to rise away. And when I can bend no more, then I straighten my left knee. So both my legs are straight as my fist comes towards the ceiling. And my body is over my left thigh. And my gaze is towards my left toes as I tuck my chin in. Now remember, if you only come halfway, that's absolutely fine. And that's probably better for some of us than it is in the other position where we come lower down. It all depends how open and flexible we are in the back. And then on your next exhale, release your hands to the floor. As we release the hands to the floor, turn your left foot in so that we're facing the front of the room. Take your legs wide. Maybe they can go a little bit wider again this time. And as we then just allow these feet to become parallel with each other, the weight is into the fingertips. Inhale, rise up halfway. And as we exhale, maybe we walk these feet further apart as then we take the palms to the floor. Now remember, it doesn't matter if your palms don't reach. Maybe it's just the fingertips, but maybe a micro bend in the knees is what we need to allow the hands or the palms to come to the floor. As you inhale, tuck the chin to the chest, take the hands to the hips and just rise up halfway. And as we rise up halfway, interlace those hands into that fist again, allowing the fist to come higher up the back and then away from the body as you look forward, and then taking the heels of the fist together if you can. If you can't, then maybe reverse the hand so that the palm is pointing towards the ceiling or the windows in front of you as you then drop your crown of the head. Deep inhale, deep exhale as you keep the fists together if you can, squeezing the shoulders away from the neck, allowing the neck to be free. And now with grace, slowly release your hands to the floor, underneath the face. Inhale to the fingertips, rise up, look forward, but as you exhale, allow the right hand to come to the floor, bend the right knee, take the left hand up in the air, and then straighten the right knee as you push the right hand away from the floor as the left arm rises into the ceiling. And exhale, left hand comes underneath the face. So the weight's moving to the ball, like you're falling forward into that left hand. And then bend the left knee, and as you open the right arm towards the ceiling, looking towards the right side. And then on your next exhale, allow your hands to come to the floor. Turn your right foot towards the right side, turn the ball of the back foot, bend the right knee, palms or fingers to the floor, step back into your plank position. Or rather, come into your downward dog first, and then inhale, come into your plank. And as we exhale, you can either do a full Chaturanga, or you can drop your knees and chest. A full Chaturanga is when the press up comes halfway, so the elbows are halfway, so that when we inhale, we come onto the balls of the feet, but we allow the shoulders to push away the head and the neck, and the heels of the hands firmly planted on the floor. But as we exhale now, we curl over the toes, rise up into that downward dog, come forward, drop the knees, take the knees wide, bring the toes to touch, bring the body down into your child's pose. And as you're in your child's pose, bring the head to the floor, your arms are outstretched far in front of you. Stay here for 3 breaths. And then when you're ready, allow the body to come upright by bringing the feet together, bringing the knees together. Come into your tabletop position, find the symmetry, hip distance between knees and shoulder distance between hands, tops of the feet down. Inhale, come into a cow, raise the head. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under, push with the heels of the hands, take the chin to the chest as you look towards the toes. Inhale, come back into a cow once more, and as you exhale, curl over the toes, allow the body to push up into your downward dog. Now this time, inhale, raise the left leg up in the air. And as you do so, straighten that leg as best as you can, and then step that left knee towards the chest and step the left foot in between both hands. And then I want you to take your left elbow onto your left knee. The palm of the hand is facing out. I want you to then turn your whole body so that the right hand comes into the lower back. And you're looking at your palm of your left hand as your left knee is really bent. And as you bend into this left knee, the right elbow is coming out for you to look towards your right side. And as you look at your right shoulder, extend the right hand now, length. Point it towards the wall behind you. Turn the palm to the ceiling. Draw a line across the ceiling with the palm as the hand and the arm comes all the way over to the front line of the body. As you'll then look to turn your gaze to your elbow or the palm of the right hand. As you inhale, you reach up and that arm stays at an angle. So it's at a diagonal line from the blade of the right foot all the way to the tip of the fingers of the right hand. So it's a opening up the side body as we turn the chest, and that right shoulder and bicep sits on top of the side of the right head. Bend into the knee a little bit more. And as you exhale, bring the right hand behind you. Take your left arm up, come into a warrior 2. Inhale, straighten that left leg. Turn the right foot in. Hands to the hips. As you inhale, look forward. As you exhale, allow your body to come into that forward bend once more. Release the hands to the floor. Inhale onto the fingertips. And as you exhale, allow the body to come down. This time taking the hands behind you, underneath the legs, as the back of the hands are on the floor. And you just allow the weight to tip into the balls of the feet as the palms face up, as they're reaching back between the legs. Take a deep breath. Deep exhale. A deep inhalation. And deep exhalation. Allow your hands to walk back underneath the face. Turn your right foot towards the right side. Now, as we did before, take a bend into that right knee. Take your right elbow on to that right knee. So as we take this bend of this right elbow onto the right knee, then take your left hand into your lower back. Then as you open up that lower back, look towards the left shoulder. And then extend the left hand. And the left hand, the palm is now facing the ceiling. Your right elbow, the palm is facing up towards the ceiling. And as you take this left arm, draw a line all the way over the side of the body. As you inhale, press into that right elbow. As you turn into your left side of the body, take your gaze to your left elbow. So the idea here is for you to open up that left side of the body, like it's a back bend, if you like. So you're opening up, but the palm is facing the ceiling. You're stretching away your toes, and you're stretching your fingers in opposite direction. Inhale, come into a warrior two. As you come into that warrior two, straighten that right leg, turn your right foot in. We are now on that wide leg forward bend once more. We're going to come to the ceiling. Rather come towards the floor. Bring your hands into prayer. As you inhale, raise the head. As you exhale, just turn the feet out to the side as you slowly start to bend your knees into what we call goddess. And just start to rock your feet up in the air as you come to your left side. You turn the body to the left. You come to your right side, turn the body to the right. And then now take your hands towards the floor as you bend your body. Bend the right knee, allow the left foot to come to the floor. Take your hand the other side of that left leg. As you inhale, allow your head to come towards the knee as the right elbow pushes the right knee open. Using your hands, allow your body to come upright, forward bend, wide leg. This time you're going to take your left hand to the inside of the left knee as the left knee bends deeply for your right leg to stretch forward. Taking the right hand the other side, and maybe the left hand comes toward the right foot as you then bend towards the right knee. Now from here, allow the left knee to come to the floor. Allow the left knee to rise and the right leg to rise as you come into your humble warrior. Take the right leg back. As you take the right leg back, and then bring the knees together. And then allow the body to come down into a child's pose. Inhale, rise up. Take the arms behind you as we did before. Maybe separating the knees as the forehead comes between the knees. Stay here for 2 breaths. When you are ready, rise up into your tabletop position and then come to lie on your back. Now, if you have a wall handy, or maybe a mirror or wardrobe, as I have behind me, I want you to, that would be really nice for you to have it handy, but in the meantime, I want you just to bring the seat close to your heels. And then take your forearms towards the floor. And then allow that back to slowly unfold, roll out onto the floor like pastry on a board, and bring the head to the floor. Allow your hands to come to the floor, palms facing down. Bring in the heels maybe a tad closer so that maybe your fingers reach your heels, maybe they don't, but your arms are stretched in that direction. As you then kind of just raise your head slightly, look at your knees, make sure your knees, they have your fists together, distance apart. With your back and your shoulders and your head safely on the ground and staying there. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a big sigh of the mouth. Big inhale through the nose and a big flutter of the lips. Big inhale through the nose. And as you exhale through the nose, slowly start to curl your tailbone up as it faces you, as you take your hips off the floor and then take your lower back off the floor and your middle back and then your upper back. And then we find ourselves in this half supported bridge. And then as we have done before, interlace your hands underneath your body. And then roll right shoulder under, roll the left shoulder under, maybe adjusting the feet so that you can feel the weight come into the shoulders. And if you're in this lovely position, keep your head looking down the center of the body. Try not to look left or right to protect that neck. And as you inhale through the lungs, the chest rises, but as you exhale, you push the hips up. So let your inhalation come back to that count for 4, that exhalation for 4. The weight is being pushed into the soles of the feet as the knees are pushing forward and as your hips and your back starts to raise even higher towards the ceiling. Listen carefully. Release your hands now, that the hands are down with the palms onto the floor. Inhale up onto your toes, maybe bringing the feet closer together. So the balls of the feet and the toes are lifting you off the floor, the heels off the floor. And as you exhale now, I want you to just take your arms up into the ceiling and keep them there. As you exhale, start to roll your upper back to the floor, then your lower back, then your hips, and then the heels of your feet, and then slowly bring your arms back down towards the floor. Heel toe your feet mat distance apart. And then allow the left leg, left knee to fall inside the right knee as the right knee falls towards the right side. Inhale, come back up to center. Right knee falls inside the left knee. So window wiping these knees, window wiping the legs. And then inhale, come back up to center. And then allow your hands to come to your knees. And as you bring these knees closer to the body, your head and your shoulders are still on the floor. As you come and bring those knees across the body. And as you inhale, raise the head this time, interlace your hands around your wrists and squeeze those knees together. Lower your head and shoulders back down as you then squeeze those thighs towards the belly. So every time they inhale, the compression against the thighs, and the exhale. Now just release the legs. Take your hold of your big toe with your first 2 fingers on the left foot, and then the same with the right. You're going to have your feet up in the air in this happy baby pose. And with this happy baby pose, you're bending your knees as the knees come towards the shoulders. And then you're going to rock your body just slightly from left to right. And then you're going to allow your legs to open up into a V as you're still holding on to your big toes. And then bring the feet back together again. Release your hands to the floor. As you release your hands to the floor, just take your hands underneath your thighs, underneath your knees, allow the knees to drop, and then start to rock and roll up and down the spine 3 or 4 times. Try not to roll onto the neck, but just roll on the back, enjoying this lovely massage across the spine. And on the 4th time, when you're ready, coming up to sitting. Now, allow the legs to come out in front of you, as we have done before. And when these legs come out in front of you, I want you to bend the right knee. And as you bend the right knee, this right arm, you'll notice, is behind me. And I'm going to push this right arm into the floor. So as I inhale, my body comes forward, so my spine is much straighter. My crown of the head is coming towards the ceiling. And my left foot, I flex the toes towards me. As I inhale, I come even closer to this right thigh, with the right foot close to my inside of my left thigh. I inhale, I raise my left arm up in the air, and as you exhale, wrap the left arm around the knee. And then keep that foot flexed that is on the floor. And as you inhale, soften into the body. But as you exhale, push into that hand as the heart races forward. As you then soften in the belly as the air leaves from the belly. And turn to the right shoulder. Inhale, grow tall through the spine. But as you exhale, turn to the right shoulder. So all this sitting down we do keeping the back and the muscles all tight, especially if we're slouching. This really allows the body to twist, to allow those spine and the vertebrae in the lower part of our body to start to twist and open up again. Stay here for one more breath. So the inhale, you go tall, and then the exhale, soften. As you turn your head, and again, you're not looking up or looking down, but you're looking just straight behind you. Okay, release your left hand so that it touches the baby fingers on the right hand, so the hands are behind you. Take the right arm into the inside of the right leg. As you inhale, the heart opens and counter twists the opposite direction. Lovely. When you're ready, take your right hand behind you again. Extend the right leg. Bend the left knee so the foot is closer to the inside. Maybe bump up the bottom so the flesh has moved away and you can feel both sitting bones. Flex that right foot on the floor. Left hand behind you. Inhale, shoot the right arm up in the air. The left elbow will bend slightly. And push the heart close to that thigh as you then wrap the right hand, the right elbow onto the right knee. So as you inhale, you hold that knee as you grow tall, but as you exhale, you squeeze it towards the body as you turn towards that left shoulder. Inhale, the breath allows you to grow tall for the crown of the head, but as you exhale, you can feel the left shoulder opening as you push that left hand into the floor. And once more, after 3 breaths, take your hand behind you. Take the left hand to the inside of the body, counter twist to the right side. And then allow your legs to come long once more. So as we allow the body to come long, we're going to do just a couple of more postures before we finish off. So as we inhale, we raise the arms up in the air. The arms are parallel with each other, so the hands are turned in to face each other. And we open up, slight bend in that lower back. And as we reach forward, and as we exhale, we're going to bring our hands, we keep moving forward to that posture that we did before, Paschimottanasana. As we inhale, we raise up, we raise the heart and the chest. We grab hold of the big toes, or we have the palms of the hands, depending on how long your arms are, onto the soles of the feet. And the feet are zipped up, knees are zipped up. As you inhale, you roll the shoulders back as you look forward. But as you exhale, you keep looking forward, but you're bending the elbows. And when you can bend the elbows no more, only then do you then allow the head, the chin to come to the chest. As your head becomes heavy and your gaze looks towards the knees. So in this active hatha pose, the toes should be flexed towards the face. As you pull on those feet, every time you inhale, you pull it a little bit deeper, maybe if it's there. And as you exhale, you soften in the belly, allowing the head and the body to come closer to the thighs and the legs. Slowly release your hands. Allow the hands, as we did earlier, to walk up the legs. And maybe just feel that little massage, maybe feel a bit tight in the hip flexors. Allow the knees to bend. Reverse tabletop. Allow the hands to come by the hips or just behind them. As you bring your knees parallel with each other, you're going to push into your hands. The knees come forward. Inhale, raise the hips up into the air. The shoulders push back as you take the head to the most neutral position, looking towards the ceiling. As you inhale, as you exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Lower the bottom first of all towards the floor. Now, if this maybe is enough time for you, then simply come to lie on your back, which I will show you shortly. If not, let's do 2 more postures before we lie on the back. So with this wall, and this is one that we can really truly use to de-stress the body. Bring your seat, your hip, left hip, or right hip if you're on the right hand side, doesn't matter, And then allow the body to come to the floor. And then allow your legs to come to the ceiling. And then turn your body around so that the legs, your bottom, is sitting tight up against the wall. You could be on your bed to do this, whatever is your favorite place to maybe just hang. And then with here, allow the feet to now come open. And we're going to stay here for 3 minutes as a minimum, maybe even 5. But again, you take your time, you decide how long you want to stay here. So what we're doing now is opening the hips, we're stretching the groin. We are softening in the glutes. We are stretching the hamstring all the way to the knees from the groin, and then we're stretching the ligaments and the calves from the knee all the way through to the heels. And the breath is soft and passive. If you had a cushion handy, then maybe you want to rest that cushion underneath your head. Maybe you can rest your hands underneath your head. I like to simply just place my right hand on top of my belly and my left hand onto my heart as I stay here in what we call a yin posture. And these yin postures are where we allow gravity to do all the work for us, where we don't labor the body or push any weight on the body, but we simply allow the body to come into its most natural position. And yes, for some of this can be and will be quite a challenge. But what we are doing by allowing the breath, that's right, the breath every time we inhale and the exhalation, it allows us to soften, maybe find more space there, maybe not. Maybe this is as far as we need to go. Maybe this is as far as we want to go. And we just stay here quietly now for another 2 minutes. So your breath is gentle here, your breath is soft, your breath is even, and it's the same length as your inhalation as is your exhalation. In this posture, you may also feel a trembling, a shaking as your nerves begin to unravel. It's like an elastic band and you're stretching it, allowing the energy to travel through the body, so you might feel a bit of a trembling, a bit of a shake. It's completely natural unless you feel pain, then of course, as said, simply come out of the posture. And when we've come to our last minute, what I'd like to do is just support the knees as you slowly bring the feet back together again. And as you bring the feet back together again, I want you to bring the soles of the feet together. And as you bring the soles of the feet together, maybe we push the knees away, but maybe we just simply allow the soles of the feet to connect as we feel that compression, as the weight sinks into our hips. The head and the shoulders are completely relaxed. Maybe just give them maybe turn your head to the right side. Turn your head to the left side. And just breathe as we just stay in this variation of Bakasana. And when you've been here for maybe one more minute, when you're ready, just bring the knees together. Allow the knees and the feet to slide to your right hand side. Maybe supporting the knees as the body comes to that right hand side. And then extend your legs long. Extend your right arm long. Bring the whole body into a lovely long straight line. And as we come into a lovely supported reclining, I want you to take your hand, elbow in line with the shoulder. Take your right hand to support your head, and then extend, really extend your legs, so much so that your toes are now flexed. And with your toes flexed, you feel the whole of your right side of the body come to the floor. Left hand supporting you if you need it. Some of us have really rounded hips, so maybe the hips will allow us to kind of seesaw back and forth, so the hand supporting. Inhale, and as you exhale, just flex the toes as if you were standing on the floor towards your face. And when you're ready, extend the right arm to the floor, allow the left arm to come so the belly's on the floor. And as the belly's on the floor, just allow the arms now to come underneath. We're going to come into a Sphinx pose. And as the elbows come towards the floor, the elbows come slightly proud, just slightly proud of the shoulders, in front of the shoulders. The palms are on the floor. And as we allow the fingertips to come into the floor, the head slightly rises. As we exhale, the shoulders come down. And if this position is a bit difficult for the head or the neck, then simply allow the head to drop. But keep your bottom and your lower part of your legs completely passive. Completely disengage all of the muscles from the hips downwards. Your glutes, your thighs, your calves, your knees, your toes. And just with this next breath, just inhale, imagine the fingertips pulling on the floor as the belly and the shoulders rise and the chest rises. But as you exhale, it's simply the belly that softens. Lowering the head again. And in fact, lowering the head, you can just feel those different vertebrae at the lower base of the neck just start to open up. Now, allow your elbows come to the side, allow the hands to cross over each other, and then allow your head, your forehead, to just massage across the knuckles as maybe the eyebrows just roll back and forth, massaging those places that we don't often realize are fraught with tension. And so maybe the slow massage of the head with the eyebrows going over the knuckles, just releasing even more tension. Let's come back to center. Take your hands underneath your shoulders. As you put your head to the floor, you push your body up. As you bring our knees into our tabletop position for the last time. As you inhale, you raise your head, raise your heart. As you exhale, tuck your tailbone under for the last time. Just really push as you really pull your navel towards your head. And as you exhale, just come into that gentle cow. Come into a neutral position. Simply come onto your side. Come to lie onto your back. As you come to lie on your back, you want the back of the hands on the floor. Your arms are just maybe a half a foot away from the body as the head and the shoulders comes to the floor. As you stretch your legs out. And as you do stretch your legs, the feet are now maybe mat distance apart. Maybe the heels are touching in the traditional Shavasana, which means corpse, which means stillness. So the hardest posture yet is this one, but it's made easier by gravity supporting our body. Close your eyes. And as we close our eyes, let's take a deep inhale through the nose. And a big sigh of the mouth. Big inhale through the nose. An even bigger sigh of the mouth. For the last time, a deep inhale through the nose. And a lovely sigh of the nose. And here we lie in silence for the next 5 minutes. And this is where all your work that you have done truly starts to take effect, as your body adjusts and your nervous system begins to quieten, and you begin to just realize that the energy in your oxygen is flowing freely, much more freely than it was before through the body. So lie here now for another 5 minutes or so, and just come back to your intention, come back to your dedication to your practice, to a loved one, to a friend, to people that are maybe suffering. And what we really want to do is send just a bit of love, a bit of positive energy, a bit of compassion. Even if we can't be with them, then we send it through the amazing world that we have. I'm going to allow you to lie here in your Shavasana as you gently drift off and just find yourself deeply, deeply relaxing. I hope you've enjoyed our wonderful yoga practice this afternoon, or this morning, or this evening. Be well, treat others well, eat well and drink well. Have a wonderful, wonderful time until I see you next. Namaste.